Anyway, it's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for jumping on. I mean,
Yeah.
we've only known each other a short time, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Esteban, born, raised in California. I'm 27 now. So um, I basically was born with the limb difference. And I've grown up with one arm, and I like to play video games. I like to watch movies. I like comic books, and I've been trying to get into bike riding. So, yeah,
Oh, keep the new bike in the background.
yeah, it's still here. I gotta take it to the shop later today. So,
Cool.
because I assembled it myself, I bought it online. So, yeah, that's a new thing I'm doing or trying to. So, we'll see how that goes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. I'm gonna pause it right here because homegirl's taking a gallon challenge over there. Can you hear her?
No. Is it on your end? Someone
My dog
drinking?
is like drinking the whole bowl of water and won't stop. So I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
luckily the editing in the background is
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
but
Gotcha.
she doesn't normally just jump up and do this. So
No worries. No worries. That's cool.
I was just telling someone this morning, I was like, it really is so much more fun when I'm just interviewing my friends.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Because then we
It's
can
way more
just,
chill.
yeah. Instead of things like this happen, we can just be like, okay.
Gotcha.
But
Uh,
no, thank you for introducing yourself. I've
yeah, I tried my best there. I wrote it a little bit, but I just kind of went on.
no, it was great. We met because you found my meetups through Kathy. So thank you, Kathy, for
Yeah.
and I feel like personally, you have just come out of your shell in the time that you've found a community and people who just kind of understand that part of your life, like I do, and like Scotty and all the other people who come to the meetups. I think it's just so that's been the best part about them for me personally. What's been your journey through the meetups and how that's kind of like changed your life in the last not necessarily change your life, but I mean now you're doing TikToks and you're on a podcast. So tell us a little
Yeah.
about how the last like this year has gone for you.
Oh, definitely a lot. Emotionally, physically, just um having to reach out with people that have also limb difference. It's been a huge thing for me because I just never really honestly didn't care too much. I just didn't really pay attention. So now having to reach out to people and having to talk and hear people's stories and how they feel about having to live life the way they are has really impacted me a lot. This past year, just I've had to reflect a lot about myself. So it's been a really good thing. Been I was like skeptical about it, like just how am I gonna talk to people, or how am I gonna express myself? But it's been really good. The outcome so far has been really amazing. Like having also just to be myself in making TikToks or just showing people videos of my prosthetic that I've recently obtained. It's just been also really mentally great. Um, so yeah, all this is new for me. So it's been like a nice ride so far.
If
But
if
yeah.
yourself today would see your, I don't know, pick an age from your childhood, if you were to go to them and be like, this is what you're doing today, what would that version of you say?
That there's, I don't know, I feel like I was very alone, and that there's people like me that are amazing and awesome, and it's just so good to live life with knowing that. And I wish if I was to go talk to my kid self, to just like tell him that, because yeah, there's just like it's really good to look up to that, I think, because not feeling or having to not feel alone is good. But yeah, I think that's what I would tell my future self. Also, that there's gonna be a lot of overpriced phones, smartphones. Not just kidding. I don't know.
Well, it's a good one. It's a very valid warning to appreciate the Nokia brick that we all
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
I think I remember like a flip phone being $35 at one point. In what world? Not this one. Not this one.
yeah.
No, that's interesting. I asked that question because as someone who's made the disability space kind of like my career now, as someone who didn't even identify as disabled a couple years ago, like to me, it just seems like this is what I've been waiting for. I just didn't know about it. Do you kind of feel the same way? Like once you found a community, you're like, oh, like this is obviously what would have been helpful growing up. This is obviously what would have brought me
Yeah.
hurt even today as an adult. Like we're in our late, are you in your late 20s, you said?
Yeah, 27 now.
Yeah, so like we could have done a lot with this during college, and you know what I mean, having like being able to navigate that, but with a phone number of someone who gets it, you know what I mean? I sure didn't have that. And I noticed myself getting a little bit jealous of the people who have had it for so long. And now even like this group of kids growing up, it was just the Lucky Finn project weekend, which I'd love to be able to go next year. But it almost seems really overwhelming at the same time. And I wonder if you experience that as well.
Definitely throughout my life, I've encountered a few people with limb difference, and I didn't know how to react to it that in that way. Like I know how to speak and what to do, but like at this point now, with that I've seen communities rising and people being more out there, I feel like, yeah, it is a bit overwhelming, but then it once you get used to it, and I think you just start maybe talking to more people in person or wherever online, but it's like maybe that'll be less of a hard overwhelming thing, because I know now it's like there's this, yeah, that Lucky Fit project thing that you mentioned, and there it's starting to get more bigger, right? It's like I've
They
seen,
said they had over 900 attendees this year.
wow,
And that's
yeah,
not just Lucky Finns, right? That's like their parents too, friends, family, which I think is amazing. I like thought about going this year and it just overwhelmed me, I think, because I haven't been like, I think I find comfort in knowing someone in the organization that's throwing an event, you know what I mean? And that's just my own personal thing. And so because it's been so hard for me to get in contact with Lucky Finn, um, and a lot of other organizations, I think they just don't have like that person, like customer service, I guess, is what these organizations are lacking for me personally. I don't know how to use their resources. I don't know what my options are, things like that. Are you finding the same things or?
yeah, like I mean, honestly, for me, it's like, where do I fit in it really too? And even in the recent groups I'm joining, like with you and everything, I'm just trying to find my place. But yeah, like the Lucky Finn project stuff, I think it's hard to really connect with someone to like see what you can do, I guess. Like what can I do to help,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. So um I know there's like a couple, I mean, kind of like influencers, but really like, I guess they work for them or,
That's the thing that I don't
yeah,
understand is like,
yeah,
how can we all be involved and elevate this message?
yeah.
And for some reason, wherever I'm looking, it's not just Lucky Fin, it's every organization I'm looking at that is usually a nonprofit. And I'm not talking bad. I really like, I just want to help find this information because if I'm having these struggles understanding what my options are within the organization, that's where I stop. Like if we're looking at it from more of a business perspective, if you're trying to acquire customers, right, then you need to be very upfront about what your business provides, offers, and will benefit that customer. And because they're not businesses, right? They're nonprofits and they're just trying to do good. Their intentions are in all the right places, I think. I'm just felt like I feel like I keep knocking and no one's answering the door.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I think that's what ultimately pushed me to starting these meetups so that I could have conversations like this where I'm a little bit frustrated about
Mhm.
some things in our community, but only because I want us to do more and I want us to be more involved with each other and more connected. Obviously, I could have done that by buying a ticket, going to Michigan and attending the weekend. You know what I mean? But to someone who doesn't have like the means to do that, I would like the opportunity to call someone, message someone, email someone, and get a response. And that seems difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully eventually once maybe things become different on their end, um, I'd hope
But,
they,
but I don't want to like leave it up to these organizations to
yeah,
figure it out on their own if we're so willing to help. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think I'd love to be like, cool, and I'll help your ambassadors get like logged on. I don't know. I think I anyway, I may be hijacking this to my own concerns, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Esteban.
Well, are you friends with some of the ambassadors or
So really, I have no
yeah,
hard feelings. I don't want
yeah,
this
yeah,
frustration to come off as like, I don't like Lucky Fin. I love Lucky Fin.
yeah.
I want to be part of Lucky Fin. But I think to what you said, where do I belong? I don't know how to fit into this community that's supposed to be for me. And I think that's where the frustration comes, is because it's like, okay, this thing I've been looking for my whole entire life, which I know a few people who've come to my meetups have also mentioned they've been looking for this thing their whole entire life. But a lot of us, I think bigger kids are getting forgotten about, that like we still have this need to like find community. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have that need anymore. And so I would love to be there for parents and kids growing up, but I think we're over focusing on that group and we're not focusing on the group as a whole. And I think about this a lot because this is now my career. So,
That's awesome though to say that.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I finally have a career I'm passionate about, but it's because of people like you. It's because of people who continue to show up and have these harder conversations. And like you've even mentioned to me some of the like frustrating times that you've experienced. You know what I mean? Like it's just nice to have someone that you can call and be like, this sucked. You know, like I hate this, or I was frustrated, or I went to the wharf today and I felt really exposed and I don't know what to do with that. Even just having someone to say that to, and they don't need to solve the problem for you, is really nice because they can empathize with that. Um, I'd like to stop hearing myself talk as much. I'm sorry. I feel like
That's always.
um got me in that chatty mood. But
Yeah, everything that you're saying is like really good information too, because like most of the time when we have those meetings or every time we talk, I think like I get a lot. Well, I know I get a lot out of it because this is new to me. So honestly, like I'd like to share some stuff about me, but then hearing stuff about what you feel is like I'm trying to like how do I really feel about all this too? It's just like it's a good thing too. So don't worry about it.
well, I just think it's important, right, to just be honest about it. It's a tough subject to address, being limb different, being disabled, and finding resources retroactively, because society was not set up in the way when we were growing up as it is today. I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging all of these things, as long as we're looking for solution. Um, and that's all I'm trying to do, is improve all of our limb different experiences so that we don't have to have bad ones. I'll be out of a job as soon as everyone starts accepting people with limb differences as, like
Yeah.
who they are.
And
Part of who they are.
most people don't care really. Like you tell
So
them, have you heard of Lucky Finn or something like what? What's that? What like your most other people that don't have a limb difference, right? Or just don't have a disability, like they wouldn't know really too
did you
much.
identify with Nemo when it came out as a kid?
Oh, I watched it in the movie theater for
But were you
sure.
like, this is my favorite movie because this is me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to have representation. That's why, you know what I mean? Because it gives kids like us that experience to feel seen in pop culture.
For sure. Yeah. That like movies like that I've always looked up to and like yeah, that's pretty much the only movie really because there's not really a lot honestly. But yeah, that's also one thing I wanted to get into was like movies that show limb difference because I haven't seen a lot of those, but like I guess that one movie Witches really like made it bad.
Yeah, that was poorly done, for
Yeah.
sure. Really poorly done. But I guess at the end of the day, my takeaway from it is that when people make mistakes at that caliber, that gives us an opportunity to educate. I think it does a lot of bad too. So we don't want businesses to continue to do things without the proper knowledge and like proper consultants on the project. But when it does happen, I think there is a way to look at it in a positive light. I was like, all right, well, let's use this now. Let's use this ignorant comment as an educational one. Are there any things that have helped you, I guess, since Witches? Would that be like the time you realized there was a community too?
Almost. It was like kind of like a little like flicker, like, hey, look at this, what's going on, you know? I should
Yeah.
flick myself hard. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I saw it as like, okay, there's something being said about people with limb difference, right? It, and it made me a little bit self-aware and like I think I remember back then I shared like a story or something of what and it made I was like really self-conscious about it because I don't really share too much stuff on it on that subject. So that was kind of the start of it. But then yeah, later on, I think really when I received my prosthetic, I started looking into media stuff like movies, like documentaries, like Crib Camp, um, which is kind of like in a way, if people made a documentary about Lucky Finn, it would kind of be like that because it's like it's kind of like that evolving thing almost.
Great idea.
But huh?
Documentary about Lucky Finn Project.
Right, right. That's an idea there. I've
We
been
have,
trying to get into filmmaking. I don't know. We'll see. But I have.
You can't just drop that bomb and leave it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm doing a full-time job now, but hopefully I'll get out of it.
Crawl,
And
walk, right?
yeah, but no, definitely been paying attention to more on that side. I think even that Barbie movie that
Mm-hmm.
came out, I saw that there was this girl with a prosthetic, right? And that's cool. That's
Such a
awesome. But
represent.
when that's good, yeah. But I was also thinking, like, when are we gonna see like actual limb different people with not a prosthetic and just like a main character or like another or just a side character, main character, right? But just actually being in the movie, like, like I don't see you don't see that at all.
That's funny that we're talking about this because I am coordinating a time to get Melanie Waldman on here, and she is in like the film industry and she's limb different
Nice.
herself. And she acquired her limb difference. And so it's a little bit different than our situation. But at the same time, I think we owe so much, like us congenital limb different people, I think just got so comfortable in it. You know what I mean? Because it's all we've ever known. I think we really owe a lot to the amputee community as well within our community, because they're a lot of times the people who have spearheaded the innovation because they know what it's like to not be limb different. You know what I mean? So they know what their life was before an adaptation. And so they're like, okay, well, this needs to be fixed. Whereas we're just like, I guess I'll deal with it. You know what I mean? And so I think that's been really cool that they've brought in so much innovation for us and really been able to show that within the film industry because they know what it was like, before the disability and then after the disability, experiencing life, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know there's different sides to it, like having to lose and being born. Yeah, definitely. Um,
But
but
it's all
that's
under one blanket too,
yeah,
because we all have the same needs as well.
right. Because it's like really about how people perceive one another. Because that hasn't changed. It's like looking someone down, you know, like just seeing that person and they're like, oh, you feel bad for them, or
Mhm.
oh, that person can't do this or that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that still happens.
Do you feel like
Right.
it happens to you often?
Um,
Or maybe
well, I guess I don't know if it depends where you live. I'm in the Bay Area, so for sure, like the San Francisco area, I think if I go there, it's like kind of people aren't really paying attention to me than maybe certain areas, but I don't really have a huge tough time. Like certain days, maybe when I interact with people. Um, but yeah,
what made you want to get your prosthesis?
it was like really an idea from uh my oldest brother. Really, like I was just eating and it was after we had a huge like 12-mile bike ride with my dad we and I was getting really tired. Like I was the only one holding them back. And I don't know why I was so tired, maybe because I don't go out as much or yeah, do a lot of exercises or activities outside. So, but I felt a lot of weight towards my left arm. And it was like a lot. Um, and I really wanted to ride that trail with them and keep going without having to feel so tired. But um, yeah, my oldest brother gave me the idea. Oh, you should get a prosthetic. Maybe that would help. And I'm like, okay, okay. Like
Give you
I'll
one
look at
thing to work, like focus on, right? Because then you're stable and then you can
yeah,
breathing and
yeah. Like recently with having it, I used. did with the bike, and it actually turned out really well. Like, I was riding it, balancing, no problem. So yeah, but I mean, it was like that idea, but then I don't, for some reason, it became more harder to actually obtain one. Like, it took me an entire year to get it.
There.
Yeah, and I was actually denied the first time I actually requested it from my insurance, from my hospital.
The audacity.
Yeah, right. So
Because
I
in
don't,
that question that we have to fill out, I filled out that form too for my insurance because I started the prosthesis process. But
yeah.
they literally, for people who don't know, we have to go through and fill out a form of like daily tasks, like putting on your pants, zipping up your zipper, buttoning your button. Did you have to do that? Or
It was sort of like that, but they really wanted me to write like a whole essay of like why I need a prosthetic.
please, I am missing half my arm. May I please have a prosthesis to help me fulfill that half of my arm so that I can have a higher quality of life? No, they said. Are you kidding? You're not kidding.
Yeah. No, no, yeah. The first time they said no, and then I had to like drive 40 minutes to the hospital just so they can have like a 10-minute conversation with some specialist with like five other doctors and looking at me, right? It was like, oh man, this is
You need
really
to
surreal.
need it.
What did you say? Sorry.
They always say, well, we need to prove that you need it.
Uh,
Like,
it's like
here's your
some,
proof. Here it is.
yeah, it's so unnecessary, really, really unnecessary.
I am proud of you though for sticking it out and going through the whole process, reapplying. What did that look like? The reapply process.
Yeah, yeah, it was basically that thing where I had to meet, because they just flat out said no when I requested it, just flat out no. Like they didn't ask any questions, nothing. But then after I reapplied, then I had follow-ups like, hey, can you meet us? And hey, write this essay. And then, okay, we'll take a few months to like come with this decision. And yeah, it was like it was a lot of waiting. That's why it took a year.
Um, that would also be interesting to know is if you is it harder for congenital limb different people to get a prosthesis than it is for amputees to get a prosthesis? That's a question I have no idea what the answer is.
I think it kind of is, because I think they like insurance or doctor specialists, they see for sure if that person has used the prosthetic before, and if they need it because they, or if they lost a limb, maybe that they have a higher chance. I don't know.
Well, that was one thing that the guy who my parents took me to see as a child even said to me when I went back to him at 17. I was like, hey, what's this about? And he's like, well, you could do a prosthesis, down the road. And when I was 17, I wasn't ready. And I also didn't think technology was ready either.
Yeah.
Um, so then when I went back just before COVID, my issue is that we have to build around my digit. And so it would actually be a lot easier for me to find a prosthesis that works for me if I just had a nub. But because then a socket could go on and everything, I have no real options at the current moment for a prosthesis. And so I just lost my train of thought.
No worries.
But he did say to me, he was like, because you've been, I found it, because you've been living your whole life like this without a prosthesis, the insurance company needs you to prove that you need this. And I'm like, I need this because also didn't realize what my options were. So even at 17, when I didn't think there was a lot out there was much more out there than I was aware. But like you don't start fitting babies for prosthesis when you have an upper limb difference. And so we have to be proactive as congenital limb different people who have to go find these resources as we get older, as we grow up, or our parents are left responsible for that as well. Whereas it seems through social media now, people have resources before the kid's even born. They're set on this trajectory. They know other limb different parents that they can help like raise their kids with. So beautiful. I'm so glad they have that.
Yeah. Even like different prosthetics, like different companies, like really easy ones, or advanced,
Yeah.
you know, I think they're getting different versions for sure.
I didn't even know to search on the internet. Are there people like me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't. And I feel silly for not thinking about that sooner. I feel embarrassed a little bit. Like I feel like I've even let myself down in a way. But that I think gives me more compassion for my parents too. Is that like if I didn't even know what questions to ask and I have the limb difference, how would they know what to ask?
Yeah. I feel the same way. My parents um migrated here, so like that kind of resource was like not even available for having me being born the way I was, and how they've had to deal with how with my siblings had to deal with it, and it was just all new for them for sure, and my parents, and they've had to figure it out. I mean, um i'm I'm super happy that parents have this kind of help now for sure.
First didn't use
And
the internet.
yeah, no, no, no internet. I mean, I'm sure like the kind of resources they had were just from doctors or something, right? Or specialists in that manner, having to go see someone. But it's way different when you can connect with someone who is going through the same thing, and it's much easier than having to having to look for people physically, right? Because
Yeah.
the internet's there.
Yeah.
So,
Hoping you run into someone that's also
right.
receptive to wanting to meet you. Because I've done that a couple of times and then been like, I just should have shut my face. I just should have shut my face. But I get so excited. Like the few times I've seen anyone with a limb difference, I'm like, me too. Like, let's be friends. And they're like,
Yeah.
crazy person. Like, I don't
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
how have you like with your parents, your relationship with your parents? Seems like it's pretty good. But regarding your, you know, I assume other people have maybe had conversations like I've had with my parents. Maybe that's not the best to do, but do you talk to your parents about what it was like raising you limb different and just like maybe what their experience was a little bit more or not yet?
I would say not yet. I think there's been little conversations here and there, like, um, how did you guys feel about they're 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 really also strong in the faith, so they just really were super open about just, me being born, right? So they were just I have a good relationship with my parents for sure. So as far as like me growing up in school and high school, it's just a kind of a conversation that we don't usually have, because it's like I grew up in that era of, that different era of, I don't know what you call it, Gen something, Z, X, I don't know. But it's like the internet was rising, and um, the type of bully was a little bit different. I know now it's more different because it's like we're always on our phone, right? But I think it was a little bit less of me having like conversations, like being open. But then again, it's like my parents were just more humbling in how I was growing up, like how I was living my life. So um yeah, I don't well, maybe someday we'll have that conversation, like um but I'll definitely have to think about it more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't think even it may not be necessary. You know what I mean? I don't want you to feel like pressured to go have that conversation. I'm just always so curious because um I think that's been the most fulfilling part about doing these meetups is that I'm connecting with people who are more where I'm at, right? So it's like I am happy to be a resource for parents of kids who have limb differences. But the thing that fills my cup the most is talking to people like you who grew up without certain resources like me. Um, and that was just very much not like growing up, it's not just your experience, it's yours and your family's, it's yours and your parents' experience. And so coming out of my shell a little bit more and looking back on like my childhood and seeing how me growing up with a limb difference could have impacted my siblings' childhood as well, my parents overall, and still to this day, I just think about it so much. And I like to, I guess, pick people's brains and see what their experience was like because none of our experiences, even though we talk about like, oh, they can empathize and they understand this, this, and this, there's a lot we all didn't share too. You know what I mean? And so it's nice to hear those stories of how this similar situation to mine navigated a whole different environment and terrain. And we are still connected, or that different terrain and whatever led us to this today. To me, that is wild. And that's why I love the internet. But that's why also I have so many questions. And I
Mhm.
think about it so much because I went 25 years without talking about it really. And so now it's just like overflowing. I can't shut up. I want to know other people's experiences. I want to share mine with them. And it's nice to hear that even when I'm rambling on about these things, there's some pieces in them that you can be like, yeah, me too. Or, yeah, I feel that. Or, I don't know, because I'm just going to keep going if you don't jump in, Esteban. I don't know.
No, for sure. I think like that part I'm just grasping now, like because yeah, like I said, I've never really cared so much. I've lived the life I lived, like growing up in middle school, high school. I actually like I wore long sleeves. Like I was super insecure. And I'm okay talking about it now because it's like yeah, whatever. It's like that's me. I wear short sleeves. I am who I am,
Yeah.
and like it's fine. But like back then, middle school, high school, wore long sleeves. Even in the hot days, it was just so bad. It was the way I was. It was so bad. Like I just yeah, and I never really paid attention to other people like me. I never. It was just but I had fun. I had fun with friends. None of my friends really talked about my limb difference that much, which now that I think about it, now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, well, how did they feel, or how did they look at me being their friend and feeling like if maybe they're embarrassed or maybe those are things also I think about, like where you're saying that you think about a lot now because you didn't have that. I also can relate because for sure like yeah, I wish I had that information for sure, but I'm thankful now. I mean, and like I also don't put so much like weight from doing those things that I did. I mean, obviously that I could have changed her, but I think that just had to happen. Like I had to go through that. That's the way I am. I was born, right? So sometimes I look at it that way. And like I was even out yesterday making a TikTok with my friend. Just like I've always made them by myself, and I just tried making it with a friend just for fun, just like, hey, this is something I thought of, maybe if you have time. And he had time and he was open about it. And I was like out in public doing it, and it was a little bit nervous. I was like looking at people, which I'm trying to like avoid not to.
Yeah.
But it was just something I just kind of put myself challenged, and um, I'm just trying to do that more, just trying to challenge myself.
Good.
Um,
It's coming through in amazing ways, especially on your TikTok. Those videos are so fun to see. Your personality comes out in them a lot too, which is fun. And
yeah,
I think it's good that you're experimenting with it, adding people to it, taking them away. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't always have to be the same. That's what's so fun.
yeah, yeah. Um,
It's
I'm, oh,
artist.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just glad like people like you can say that, because I just I'm glad like there's some people that I've also I've seen that liked my videos also have a limb difference that I don't know, and it's like okay, I'm trying to find my place, but maybe I'm slowly getting there. Maybe it's going somewhere.
No,
So
that rush you feel when like another limb different creator that you've been following for a while that finally saw your stuff and they liked it or followed you. There's no other good, like there's no better feeling for me personally, because like that's what we're working on is like connecting with more and more people, and especially the people that you've been looking up to.
yeah,
And like I think the world seems really, really big, and it is. But I also think it's a lot smaller than we think it is, too. I think I just went to the ESPYs and we talked a little bit about that, and
yeah.
that was so fun. And your question to me, I can't get out of my head. I can't. Do you remember what it was?
It was how did you feel being there, right? Oh, like were
As
you a
someone
lot of
with a limb difference.
yeah, 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 exactly.
And, I gave you an answer. I think I think it's changed the more I think about it. And I keep thinking about it. I wouldn't say I'm spiraling, but it's something that I'm like, I wonder what the real answer to that is that I think I might have given like a knee jerk, like, oh, this is what I should say because I don't know what to say. But now that I'm like thinking of that question, honestly, I still don't know. And I think it's so important to ask each other that question, to ask ourselves these questions, because it's easy to get in a spot where you're like not pushing yourself much anymore. And I've always found that I feel so much better if I do those things like you were saying, like trying not to pay attention to people. But I like you'll probably in 2 months not even think to look at people looking at you. You're just like, get out of my way. You know what I mean? Let me do my thing. Um, I just think it's an ever changing relationship that we are going to have with our limb difference and our disability, whatever that.
I'm excited for that, honestly. Like
Yeah.
it's just a good thing to think about, and
I
I'm
think
excited for all that.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when I hear you say that, it's like you're excited because to me, I've been able to see you take control of it. And so to me, when I'm hearing you say that, is like, I'm excited because now I know what I'm able to do. Now I know how capable I am. Now I know how much fun I'm having with this. Like, it really does come through everything you're doing. And like your eagerness, like when you message me, I'm like, he's in this, he's doing this, he's excited, he's working on it constantly, like your passion behind it, don't lose that because it's coming through really nicely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Yeah, that yeah, it brings me up for sure. And I'm excited for myself for sure and what others can do and maybe do a lot more collaboration for
Yeah, I think
sure.
I should come out to the Bay Area. You should come to Salt
Yeah.
Lake, whichever.
Yeah.
Let's do some content together. I don't know, let's meet in person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. It really is.
It's nice to have pen pals, but I think being able to like sit down and have a drink with you would be really nice one of these days, you know?
Yes, I approve. No.
Figure out how to do my thumbs up.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's your thumb there.
People always call it my thumb, but it's my
Yeah.
middle finger for sure. So
Oh yeah. I don't even know what my thumb is too. I don't. It's just like all over. It's fine. And my thumb, my really how I think about it's like my thumb is just I'm actually thinking about it. Like if you see me doing that,
show
like
me again.
doing that, like I'm actually that's my expression. And it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you can't really see it. It's just
in your
it's
head.
there. Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's so interesting to me. So, um, it's been funny because my nail girl will always call this my thumb, and I don't feel like I need to correct her because I'm fine with that. Um, but it's so funny to me that we all have our own, you can tell that we built this like belief system around our own nub or hand or limb difference, whatever it is, that it's like, this is my this. Like when my mom would drop me off to elementary school, we'd do this. I'd just like
Yeah,
wave my finger at her and she'd do this back at me. It's like
nice.
little things like that that I think have helped me really embrace and love my limb difference when others are able to as well. So
Got
thank
it.
you for sharing your thumbs up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Of course. I don't it's something like I've been doing more for
Yeah,
sure, like just expressing my like even waving or something, just yeah.
it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It-
I've been practicing that a little bit more. Like if I'm gonna do it with my right hand, let's try to do it with my left hand. Like not necessarily out of like ambidextrous things, but because I'm so used to accidentally hiding my hand, I want to be like, oh, I'm at a concert and both my hands are up instead of so that I don't like startle people behind me or something, you know, that's none of my business.
Right.
Well,
Um,
is there anything else on your list you wanted to talk about? Listen,
um,
you know, conversations with me get crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like for me, having being a podcast and even doing conversations, it's just always hard for me to start. But for sure, I'm like open to like a lot of things. Um, I'm also yeah. Eventually, if we like hang out, it'd be fun for sure.
Oh, we'll have to do an in-person podcast when we actually meet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like play some arcades or something.
Oh, okay.
Get you into an arcade machine.
Yeah, I did. I get my trash kicked at what did we say?
Pac-Man.
But I
Yeah.
am pinball.
Okay. Or like even like just like regular video games. Like it'd be interesting if you could try.
Hilarious. You want to put me on blast because you're a great gamer and I
No, 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 no. It's
only
like
know Spyro and
it,
let's think. Mario.
no.
I can play Mario Party.
Okay.
I can
All
do
right. But like you can play on a controller too.
yes.
Okay, okay.
I would not say I'm good.
I mean, if you can, I mean it's fun to play with people. Not
Yeah.
even just like a good game, not a good game, but like a good interesting game you've probably never heard of because it's like I'm a gamer, so you'd
Yeah.
probably be surprised.
Throw it at me. What are we playing?
Okay.
I've watched like What did I watch the other day? This is so annoying. I am embarrassing myself. I don't know what it's called, but you fly from the sky and land on the map somewhere, and you like build stuff as you go, as you're like running in the sky. I don't understand. What's it called?
Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I watched that. Don't Never attempted to play it. I played Halo in junior high school.
Hmm.
So, so what do you got? Throw it at me.
Oh, there's this game probably be fun to play. Interesting because it's called Octodad or something, Octopus Dad. He's like it's like the game basically you have to control his tentacles. So like you have to grab objects, but it's so like all over the place. Like it's hard to control. Like and two people can control like his arms.
Oh, so 4 limbs each.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it'd be fun. It'd be interesting to play that.
And kind of
Uh,
funny at the same time.
Funny, right? Yeah. What did you say?
My computer just kicks me out of this. No, Esteban, come back. Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm here. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like I saw you, but you had problems. You were
Someone just tried to call me, and because I have a MacBook, it came straight into my computer.
oh, no worries.
You know, the basics. But thank you for just having a good conversation with me. It's been a minute since we've been able to catch up. I appreciate it.
No, I am thankful a lot. This was also amazing. I'll never forget this.
Well, we don't have to be done yet either. I'd
Yeah.
love you to give out. Did you say you started a YouTube?
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Well, you will. You have
Ugh.
your Instagram and your TikTok. Give us those handles.
Yes, so maybe I was thinking about changing my TikTok name, but it's really like my gamer name. It's Space Nub, but it's R Space Nub because someone took the name Space Nub, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand. I mean, I think I looked them up and they don't even have enough. Sorry for putting you on blast, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine, but yeah, R Space Nub, lowercase. And
Okay,
then
I'll tag it at the bottom too, so they can get that, and then throughout stories and things, we'll tag you.
appreciate it. Yeah, my Instagram is also my first name written weirdly, Esteban. So yeah,
Cool. Awesome. And do you know where you're going with that, or you're just having fun with it?
I know TikTok. I know I'm having fun with it. It's like it's definitely like more so topics about limb difference, prosthetic. I know that's my main focus, right? But as far as like content about it, it's like I'm having way too much fun.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
What we want to hear. I mean, I think that's the best way to go about creating content. I can't force content worth crap. That's why there's not a podcast episode today. I could have done like a solo one, and I thought, I want to be proud of everything I put out. You know what I mean? And so if I wait another week and this is the next podcast I put out, that's fine for me, because this is going to be a great conversation for people to overhear. Yeah, I love everything you're doing. I think it's so fun to watch, and I think you should just keep doing more. See where that leads you.
Yes. See.
Seems like it just keeps getting you to come out of your shell more and more.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
You gotten
But
anyone like sliding into your DMs, trying to go on dates with you or anything?
no, not at the moment. I've just been doing me. I don't know. It's just not been too much on that, but hopefully I know my mom always jokes about you're ready to marry because like I know how to cook, right?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And no, I mean when the time's right,
Yeah.
for sure I
Don't
will.
rush anything.
Huh?
Don't rush anything. Bad
Oh
relationships are
yeah.
not worth it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will definitely. I won't only just slide into DMs. I will try to go above and beyond.
Good. You're a gentleman.
Hopefully,
Take him on an actual date.
yes.
Good. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Esteban. I really appreciate it. And we'll
Yeah,
talk back again.
yeah, yeah. No, thanks for having me. Definitely, if I come back, I will have more things to talk about. And my first podcast, I know I felt a little bit nervous, but I know I kind of pushed through. And I'm thankful for you to having to ask me questions and having a conversate. Thank you.
I just hope you don't feel like I talked over or talked too much because
No, no,
that is
no.
my social anxiety is that I do that.
I understand. Yeah.
But no, I always enjoy talking to you. You've been someone that's been such a light since I've met. Like it's been so nice. Every time your messages come through, I'm just like, oh good, like there's my buddy. You know what I mean? Like it's nice to have someone that you can just be like, today sucked. Can we chat? Blah blah blah. It's really nice. So thank you for that as well. It's been a nice friendship to have.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll probably cut it off at there.
Awesome.
No, I'll let you say your goodbyes and
Okay.
fun with your mother on her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, I'll let her know you said that for sure.
And then
But
podcast will be out next Wednesday. So they'll get to see it.
okay. All right. I'm looking forward to that. Is your dad gonna edit it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Dawn and Jan say hi as well. They're big
Okay,
birds too.
awesome. Yeah, tell them I said thank you too also because they have listened to me and to their advice. So I appreciate
Thank
them a lot.
you, Esteban. You've been fun to have in the meetups. And I think it's cute that my parents come to all the meetups, honestly. It's so nice of them.
Yeah,
But it's also nice that they can connect with people too, I think. So I'll have to meet your parents eventually.
yeah. No, they'll love you. My mom is a huge hugger and cooker. That's how she was raised. So
She shows how she cares.
yeah.
Good. Well, um, I'll see you at the meetup on Sunday.
Yeah. Maybe it's also my brother's birthday.
Oh, probably not, but that's okay.
Probably not. My brother's birthday. Like they're all in July. I have two that are born in July. My mom in July. I actually was gonna be born in July, but the doctor said like, "Hey,
Wait till August.
wait, no, actually, you should be born sooner."
Oh,
Like, so
June.
this June, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Your birthday was just a couple weeks.
yeah,
See, my
yeah.
math is terrible.
No, no, you're good.
Okay, Esteban, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uh,
We'll be chatting soon.
yes, Jinx
All
time.
right, all right, bye.
Yeah.